I always say that my dad had the heart of a giver, and a giver does not need to be rich to be generous.
Are we ready?
BC has been a very dear friend. BC is the friend that does not like stress and does not like quarrels, and is a very encouraging person. So me and her kind of harmonize. She's that person I can call and say, this friend of ours, she probably has not even been in touch with the person in a long time. And there's one that is readily available. A friend of ours is unfortunately not very well. And we met at A-levels and everybody went their separate paths. But me and that particular person have remained very close. Unfortunately, she's going through some health challenges. And I reached out to BC, and before I knew what was going on, she had arranged some similar to GoFund, but not on a platform. She reached out to people. And they raised 5 million Naira for this person. I was blown away. She calls me and she's like, BC just did this. That's BC for you. BC does not want to be in controversy. BC wants to encourage. BC is giving. BC is generous. So we kind of merge on that. Dr. Franca, the college professor, is as smart as a whip. And I like that. And she is just an academician. She's just been a friend. She's a little older than myself. So the friendship, there's some hierarchy of respect and the friendship that comes with it. Obi is the one I said I've known since 71. We grew up on the same street. She's my mother's goddaughter. Obi is just kind. Obi is peaceful. Obi has raised her siblings. So these are people who do things that, speak to what makes me happy.
Evelyn in 1979, we were probably about 16 at the time. We met at high school. Evelyn did O-levels in FGGC Benin, and so I stayed on for A-levels. Evelyn joined my A-level class, and we have been friends ever since. So both of us got accepted into Ibadan. We were in school together, but by the time your results came out, you were all in your various locations, various houses. Evelyn lived in Benin, and I lived in Lagos. But the next time we really met again after we knew we were accepted was in university. So celebration was in university. So the way you get accommodation in school was really first come, first serve. There was not enough accommodation for the students. So I came late. By the time I got to school, I did not have a room. Luckily, my friend did. So that was another journey in her life. She had a room, so I was her squatter. Squatting was basically if you don't have accommodation, you're living with someone. And Evelyn got a room with 3 other people. So I needed a place to stay, and we shared her twin bed. We shared the bed for 2 years, by the way. And I always laugh at this because I say this story every single time I have an opportunity to. Looking back, it seems really interesting that you could, have somebody live with you, not only live with you, but share the same bed with you for a 2-year period, and we still got along. It was a really small room. We had our suitcases under the bed, and somehow we managed. I think that has to be because of youth. We had fun. We, went out to parties together. We even bought the same clothes sometimes, and We used to call it Anko, and we'd take pictures in those clothes, and it was a good time.
Can you tell us a time when you referred someone to the celebrant? How did she respond?
But one thing I'll say about Evelyn, you don't need to refer someone to her. All you need to do is tell her about a situation, tell her about somebody. She'll go out of her way to do whatever is within her means. Over the years, there's so many times she's come up, done things, but the most recent was a health issue that concerned a family member of mine. Evelyn and I were just talking, as we do from time to time, and she asked about this person, and I just told her what was going on. And the next thing, Evelyn said, oh, I know a professor. Yes, even though he's left that particular hospital, he'll still have his contacts there, and then I'll see what I can do. And that was it. The next thing, she had called the professor had called the doctor in charge of the case, and my people in Nigeria now called and said, what's happening? That everybody is carrying files, even the professor that had left the hospital asked for this person's file and went through with the doctor all the treatment that was given. He looked at what steps had been taken and took control of what was, gave advice. And that is Evelyn for you. That is her. You don't need to ask her. If you're her own, your pain is her pain. And that is why we have all these people here today.
Evelyn is my friend. That's what I would describe her as, a friend in every sense. We've come a long way. We've been friends for about 52 years now, since we were about 8 years old. We met in primary school, we went to the same primary school, and then we went to Federal Government Girls College, Benin City. We did our O-levels there, and later on went to Federal Government College, Ilorin, for our A-levels. And then we went our separate paths at the university level. She went to University of Ibadan, and I went to University of Benin. But we've maintained our relationship over the years. Evelyn will not move to do what she can do to help the person. She might not be able to solve the problem. Nobody can solve everybody's problems. But she is the type of person, she's the type of friend you can depend on. She's someone that you know that, oh, she's not going to leave me alone. She's not going to leave you alone. She takes your problem as her own, and she will do what is within her means to assist. She has compassion, she has empathy.
Mine is different because I referred myself to Evelyn. All I need to do is just tell her something, and that's it. She has the best advice for you. She goes out of her way and just takes care of everything. I have a son with Down syndrome, and Evelyn every year goes with us to the Down syndrome walk at the stadium. That's it. Maybe you went to party in school, you were late, you missed your exams, you missed classes. We know that they are not telling us the truth.
The fact is that we were good girls. That is it. I've known Evelyn. I've known Evelyn since we're 7, 8. We did lots of things together. We lived on the same streets. We were in the same primary school. Her mother is my godmother. So with that, how can we be naughty? We lived sheltered lives, and we had good role models. So I think that sets a good foundation for us. maybe later on in life of mine, the time I spent with Evelyn till A levels.
So I think we were just not caught, right? So maybe we were not reported. Maybe we were not reported because I remember those drives to Ife, where in Ibadan, our parents thought we were in Ibadan. We'll get in the car, we're heading for some party in Ife, which they probably didn't invite us, but we were going to crash. Ife had good parties, and we'll drive with some young boys our age we party all night, they drank all night, and Evelyn has some nice example of coming back. The person driving was drunk, pretty much. But by the grace of God, we're here today. I don't know how otherwise.
I remember this particular person, and all of them were sleeping, and I was in the middle. BC on one side, Lola on the other side. Yes, you went. And the person in front, Shade, Ofege was the one driving. And Ofege began to sleep. And I'm looking at everybody and I'm thinking, what do I do now? And I started coughing. Coughing so loud, he got startled. And then he parked the car and they all slept. And then 30 minutes later, we continued.
Can you see? You said no. Thank you. Please, a big round of applause. That's a great story. That's a great story. To the young ladies here, please don't go partying with drunk boys, please. That's what we're learning from this story. Okay, it's all about learning. So.
We studied together, but like I said, she obviously was a more serious one because at the end of 2 years, there's a big exam you have to take. It's called the second MB exam. And this exam really, kind of separates the people who didn't take school too seriously. So at the end of 2 years, I actually did not pass my second MB exam. Evelyn did and was able to move on to her clinical years. And so I had to retake those exams, and so that kind of set me a year back. But we still kept a close friendship. If you are real friends, you share failures and successes and support each other.
She would play, she would laugh, but she also knew when it was time to study. She was a serious student, and she knew what she wanted to do. She worked hard to achieve whatever she wanted.
What you see is what you get with Evelyn. She's not pretentious, and she will tell you the truth in a very compassionate way. Yeah, the truth can be very bitter. Okay, so normally you don't want to hear the truth. But Evelyn will find a way to tell you how it is, without being in your face. Why are you laughing? Not only is she funny, she's genuine. She's very genuine. What of that funny dentist? We are talking about 16 years ago. That's Evelyn. So that character is not acquired. She was born like that. I can't tell you there's a biological reason, but I do know that she's God-fearing, she has family values, and she genuinely cares, even for her patients. She works in a rural area in Missouri where people can be very nasty. There's racism, but this woman has endured. And I think I don't have much more to add. Dr. Evelyn Ophilie is the correct package. Like someone said, Asaba babe, she is, the correct package. That's what you see.
That one is all taken, please. Don't have champagne if you have champagne on that one. Please, a big round of applause.
So I'll say she's a wise person. So when we were younger, I would have called her wise beyond her age. Over time, we're getting older, so she's wise appropriately. She's a very loving person. She's a genuine person. What you see is who she is. And again, that's the reason you can have a friendship that's lasted over 40 years. I would also describe her as strong. She's been through a lot, but she's come out on the other side even better. She's tenacious, beautiful outside and inside. She loves God. She's one person if I had any challenge, I know I can call. I think the word I'll use for Evelyn is she's a very, very genuine person. There's no pretenses about her. And the other thing about her is she's very, very caring. She cares about other people. She takes other people's troubles and she's always trying to fix things for other people. Stays up at night worrying about other people, praying for other people. And, not many people are like that.
For me, one thing I can say to the younger generation is to try to keep it real. We grew up with less outside pressure. You have my sympathy because there's so much pressure on you. So many things, so many voices that won't help you, that won't tell you the truth, and they're all competing for you. So that's one advantage we have. Look at all of us. We're just talking to one another, laughing. You will find nobody had their mobile phone out. We just use our phones for photographs. But in the younger generation, you see a group of friends, 5, 6, they're not talking to one another. They are losing the true essence of life. Communication is an art. It's the more you talk to people who are real, the more you are able to communicate with them. And I think that's one of the reasons why we've been able to maintain our relationship over the years. The fact that we can talk to one another from our hearts.
So I can add to that. As Obi was talking, it just dawned on me that 30 years ago, if you had 4 friends, female friends traveling, and maybe we were even talking about men, those men would have been introduced to us by people who knew us. Today is internet dating, which is scary. So honestly, I feel for the young generation, so that's something that is different. For some it works, for others, you don't know if you're going to meet an axe murderer. It's on the internet, but that's 30 years difference. Because 30 years ago, internet was just being built up. It's not like that today.
Maybe put another way, how did 4 of you manage to, over the last 40 years, keep this band from the 7 or 10 of you who started? How did you get there, 4 of you?
Yes. So exactly. So the whole band is here where each of us have a friendship with Evelyn. We've all been able to keep up our friendship one way or the other. I left Nigeria before she did, but we wrote letters. We wrote very detailed letters. All of our experiences we shared, by letters. Phone, it was too expensive to call, and so so we've just kind of kept up over the years. And then when she got here, even then it was still expensive to call, but we kept in touch. So I'm sure the same thing with you guys.
I actually lost with her, for many years, and Evelyn moved to Missouri, and she didn't even contact me. No, even when she knew, she didn't. Yes, yes. But anyway, because her school mother is my first cousin. But anyway, it was almost like we didn't lose any years. And that's Evelyn for you. You just pick up where you went.
I also knew BC because we did A levels together, and then I also knew Franca because of secondary school, you know. But the thing is that when you have a real friendship, distance doesn't really matter, time doesn't matter. We're not people to count, oh, I called you last, you haven't called me. It's irrelevant. There are some friends you have, and you just know in your heart that you are friends. You may not speak to each other for some months, but when you make that call or the person calls, you just continue. To me, that's real friendship. It's not a matter of seeing you every time or how often I chat with you, or no, it's far deeper than that. It's from the heart. Real friendship is from the heart. And I think that's what we all have shared over the years. That's it, really.
Thank you so much. Please, big round of applause. Big one, please. Thank you.
Sometimes you have friends that call you and they're just kind of dumping on you all the time. They've never really asked you about, how about you? What's going on with you? You have to be able to listen to each other. That's very important. Nobody's perfect. Obviously, I've done things to irritate her and she has done things to irritate me, but if that person is truly your friend, those things don't matter. Those things are not important. So you have to remember what exactly is important to you in this friendship. What exactly is important to you about this person?
We've nurtured our relationship. We have mutual respect for one another. We don't take each other for granted. These are things that matter. You have to care about one another. You have to take care of each other. So for a friendship to span this long, it means something. There's this saying, make new friends, but keep the old. One is silver, the other is gold. And I think it holds true for Evelyn and I. Friendship is not about seeing someone all the time. It's not about talking to someone on the phone all the time. I believe it goes far deeper than that.
So I left work one day to the African store to buy groceries, and I saw mommy at the store. By the time I was checking out, they told me someone had given me money to add to my grocery. I realized that she thought I was a student and she wanted to help out in her own little way. That woke me up to realize my purpose. Coming to this country, you can tend to focus on yourself, right? And I was able to realize that my purpose is to impact people, right? The way she taught me through that small gift, I doubled the money and I paid for someone else who also attended. And I never stopped since that day because she reminded me of who I was, who I am. And today I'm married to my daughter.
When we assess what people do, sometimes we may look at somebody who's putting in their best effort. So it's perspective. So, like I told a friend, I'm not the person who's going to help and have to go get in debt to help somebody. I will help from what I have. And I won't help until I'm in trouble. So I would help because I'm blessed enough to help. That's the way I look at it. I have a giver's heart. I'm blessed to help and I will help. You learn and glean from each other. You cannot be the leader in the pack because if you are, then you become the one who everybody is looking to hand out. But if all of you are striving to be better, then it's not a competition. It's a case of, oh, you did that, congrats, your house is nice. And then you think, oh, maybe I should get a house. It's not a competition, but you guys are kind of heading in the same direction, and it's just easier to do things when you don't have to explain things to people, or you are not seen to be excess or lacking.
Evelyn, I just want to say thank you to you for being a friend to me. You've never let me down, and I just want you to know that I treasure you, and I'm grateful to God that I have you in my life. Keep on being who you are, and my prayer is that we'll both continue to age gracefully. We'll see 70 years, we'll see 80 years, we'll see 90 years with strength and good health as it pleases the Lord. Enjoy one another's companies, laugh. Yeah, that's something else about Evelyn. Evelyn is funny. You can't be in her environment and be down. That's one of the things that attracts people to Evelyn.
I feel like she's there for me. I feel like I know that I can call on her at any time. And I hope she knows. I know actually she knows I'm there for her. I have to say that. I am happy that I am able to be here to celebrate my friend. Looking forward to seeing our other friends and everybody that will show up this weekend. And I am glad Evelyn is in my life.